What if the success you've built, the life you present to the world, is just a costume? A very convincing, very comfortable costume that keeps you completely unknown even to yourself. We all wear masks. The famous psychologist Carl Jung had a name for it. The persona. Think of it as your social avatar. The face you put on for your boss, your in-laws, even your friends on a Saturday night. It's the good employee, the cool friend, the perfect parent. In the beginning, this mask is incredibly useful. It's a survival tool. It helps us fit in, navigate social complexities, and get what we need from the tribe. Whether that's a job, acceptance, or just a smooth conversation, it's the armor we wear to go out into the world and function. It helps us get the applause, the promotions, the likes. But here's the dangerous part. What happens when the mask you wear to survive starts to feel more real than the face underneath? What happens when the applause stops being a bonus and starts being your only source of oxygen? That's when the persona begins its slow, creeping takeover. The mask, it hardens from a flexible tool into an iron prison. You start to believe you asterisk. The mask. Your identity becomes inseparable from the performance. The problem is, a performance requires an audience. So, you become addicted to external validation. A compliment feels like a life-saving breath. A promotion feels like proof of your existence. But silence, criticism, a single day without someone telling you you're doing a good job, that feels like death. It feels like you're disappearing, because the character you're playing has no script for this moment. You've become a ghost in your own life, haunting a role you wrote for someone else's approval. Think about it. When was the last time you did something purely for yourself, with no thought of how it would look to others? When was the last time you expressed an opinion you knew would be unpopular, simply because it was true for you? The mask hates these moments. It whispers, "Don't do that. They won't like you. You'll be rejected. You'll be alone." And so, we stay in line. We deliver the expected performance. We polish the mask until it gleams, all while the person underneath grows paler, weaker, and more distant. This isn't just about being a people pleaser. It's a profound identity crisis playing out in slow motion. You might be at the peak of your career, surrounded by people who admire you, and yet feel a deep, gnawing emptiness, a sense of being a fraud. That feeling is your true self, knocking on the inside of the mask, trying to be heard. It's a quiet alarm bell, warning you that you've mistaken the map for the territory, the performance for your soul. So, how do you begin to find your way back? It starts with a simple, terrifying act of awareness. You have to start seeing the mask for what it is. Look for the moments where you feel yourself switching on the persona. Is it in a work meeting, during a family dinner, when you're scrolling through social media, crafting the perfect image? Just notice, Italiano. Don't judge it. Don't try to rip it off just yet. Simply observe. There it is. The charming and witty persona is now active. This act of seeing is the first crack in the prison wall. It creates a tiny bit of space between you and the performance. In that space, a question can arise. If this is the performance, then who is the performer? If this is the mask, what is the face it's hiding? Recognizing the mask is the first step toward reclaiming your identity. It's the beginning of a journey inward, to rediscover the person you were before you were told who you should be. But this journey has layers. If the mask is what we show the world to be accepted, what about the parts of ourselves we hide? Not just from others, but from ourselves. What are the things we've deemed so unacceptable, so shameful, that we've locked them away in the basement of our psyche? If the mask hides you, what's beneath it? In part those we descend to the room you locked, the shadow that runs your life from the dark. Have you ever noticed how certain people just get under your skin? Or maybe there's someone you secretly admire, even envy, to an obsessive degree. What if I told you that the faces that trigger you the most are actually mailing you back your own missing pieces? The real question is, will you open the package? This is the core idea of the psychological shadow. It's not some dark, evil entity. It's much more personal. The shadow is every part of yourself you had to disown to be accepted, to be loved. Think back to when you were a kid. Were you told to be quiet? That it's not nice to be angry? Or maybe that being too smart was showing off? All those natural impulses, your aggression, your vulnerability, your raw ambition, even your unique genius get packed away into a box, labeled not me. We do this because we're social creatures. We need to belong. So, we learn to present a polished, acceptable version of ourselves to the world. We become Tegutsan, the nice girl, the hard worker. But what happens to all those disowned parts? They don't just disappear. They become our shadow. And this shadow self doesn't stay quiet in the dark. It actively, desperately wants to be seen. Since we refuse to see these traits in ourselves, we start seeing them everywhere else. This is called projection. It's like a movie projector in our minds, casting our unlived life onto the screen of other people. That person at work whose ambition you find repulsive. They might be carrying the drive you were taught to suppress. That artist whose freedom you secretly envy. They might be living out the creativity you were too scared to claim. The people you despise and the people you idolize are often just reflections of your own disowned gold. They are holding the very qualities you need to become whole. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's a treasure chest you've been guarding from yourself. When you start to recognize these projections, you can begin the work of taking them back. This is called shadow work, or integration. It's the process of consciously owning these unacceptable parts of yourself. So how do you start? Pay attention to your emotional triggers. When you have a disproportionately strong reaction to someone, either positive or negative, ask yourself, what quality in this person is activating me so intensely? Is it possible that this is a part of me I haven't acknowledged? For instance, if you can't stand people you see as needy, could it be that you've denied your own perfectly normal human need for support and tenderness? You've become so hyper-independent that another person's vulnerability feels threatening. When you start this work, something incredible happens. Integrating your aggression doesn't make you a monster. It gives you healthy boundaries and a spine to say no. Integrating your neediness doesn't make you weak. It allows you to form truly intimate, reciprocal relationships. Integrating your genius doesn't make you arrogant. It gives you the courage to share your unique gifts with the world. This is where true self-respect comes from. It's the gold Carl Jung talked about, the vitality, the creativity, the authenticity that's locked away in the dark. By refusing to look at our shadow, we remain fragmented, controlled by our unconscious reactions. We're like puppets on a string, dancing to a tune we can't even hear. The people around us become carriers for our own potential. We either hate them for showing us what we lack, or we idolize them, putting them on a pedestal and giving them our power. Either way, we're not living our own lives. We're living in reaction to the parts of ourselves we refuse to own. The shadow you refuse isn't just a part of you, it's running you. And the Siru, but there's a deeper spell at play here, one that casts an even more powerful illusion, especially in our closest relationships. It's the inner opposite. You project onto lovers and leaders. Part 3 reveals how the anima and animus hijack our desire and how to finally reclaim your soul from your projections. Are you devoted to a person, or are you worshipping a part of you that you've never met? Think about that moment of falling in love. It's electric, isn't it? A lightning strike. Suddenly, this one person seems to hold the key to the universe. They're brilliant. They're perfect. They complete you. But what if I told you that you're not seeing them at all? What if you're just staring into a mirror, captivated by a reflection of your own soul? This is one of the most powerful, and often most destructive, ideas from psychology. The concept of the anima and the animus. For a man, the anima is the unconscious, feminine part of his psyche. It's the sum of all his ancestral experiences of the feminine, his mother, sisters, muses, and goddesses, all rolled into one potent inner figure. For a woman, the animus is the masculine counterpart, the embodiment of logic, assertiveness, and action, shaped by her experiences with her father, brothers, heroes, and sages. These figures aren't just abstract ideas. They are living, breathing forces within us. They represent the parts of ourselves we haven't yet developed or integrated. If you're a man who has suppressed your capacity for nurturing, intuition, or deep feeling, your anima holds all of that latent potential. If you're a woman who has been taught to be quiet and passive, your animus carries your unrealized strength, courage, and intellectual fire. And here's where it gets dangerous. When we're not consciously connected to this inner half, we don't just leave it dormant, we project Italiano. We hang it like a divine costume on the first person who comes along and can carry its weight. Even for a moment, you meet someone, and suddenly, they seem to possess every quality you secretly admire and feel you lack. That person you're infatuated with, the one who seems so incredibly wise, or so profoundly creative, or so fearlessly bold, you're not actually seeing them. You are seeing your own animus or anima projected onto them. You've cast them in the starring role of a movie that's playing inside your own head. This is why infatuation feels like worship. It's a spiritual experience, because you are, in a very real sense, encountering a missing piece of your own soul. The obsession, the constant thinking about them, the feeling that you can't live without them, it's not a sign of true love. It's the desperate cry of your psyche trying to reunite with itself. You've essentially outsourced your own completion to another human being. And what happens when we do that? We give away our power. All that energy, all that devotion, all that life force is now flowing out of you and onto this external person, or even an idol, a celebrity, or a political ideology. You become a satellite, orbiting a sun that isn't real. You change your hobbies, your friends, your values, all to get closer to this projection. You start believing that your happiness depends entirely on their approval, their presence, their love. You've hijacked your own desire and handed the controls to a phantom. This explains why the crash is always so brutal. Eventually, the human being you've projected onto will do something very human. They'll have a bad day. They'll reveal a flaw. They won't live up to the divine, perfect image you've created. The mask slips, and the disillusionment is crushing. You feel betrayed, not because they changed, but because you were never seeing them in the first place. You were just in love with a ghost of your own. The bitterness and resentment that follow a breakup like this aren't just about a failed relationship. They are the psychic pain of self-abandonment. You look back and realize you gave up parts of yourself for a mirage. The energy you poured into worshipping them was energy you could have used to cultivate your own strength, your own creativity, your own wholeness. So, how do you reclaim this power? How do you stop falling for the reflection and start integrating the real thing? The first step is recognizing the pattern. Look at your history of crushes and infatuations. Do you see a theme? Are you always drawn to the same type? The rebellious artist, the intellectual genius, the nurturing caregiver. That type is a clue. It is a signpost pointing directly to the qualities your own anima or animus is holding for you. Your task isn't to find that person. Your task is to become that person. If you are constantly drawn to people with fierce intellectual integrity, it's a call to develop your own. Stop outsourcing your thinking and start cultivating your own mind. If you are always falling for people who seem deeply connected to their emotions and creativity, it's your soul's way of telling you to pick up a paintbrush, to write that poem, to allow yourself to feel without apology. Withdrawing the projection is not easy. It feels like a withdrawal in the truest sense of the word. The world can seem to lose its color for a while. The person you idolize now seems ... ordinary. This is a painful but necessary process of disenchantment. It's the moment you stop looking outside for your savior and turn your gaze inward. This is where the real work begins. It's the journey from chasing phantoms to building a foundation within yourself. But recognizing the projection is only half the battle. To truly end a spell, you need space and steel. Part 4 shows the power of withdrawal, boundaries, and stoic calm to make you untouchable. Have you ever felt like you're just a character in someone else's story? Pulled in a dozen directions, answering texts, calls, and demands that chip away at your focus until there's nothing left for you. The world screams for your attention. But what if the most powerful move you can make is to simply go silent? This isn't about being passive or weak. This is about strategic withdrawal. When you leave the marketplace of noise, your real life finally knows where to find you. Silence is not emptiness. It is a forge where your true self is tempered. It's where you reclaim the power you've been giving away for free. Think about it. Every time you instantly reply to a chaotic text, you're teaching people that your peace isn't. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're handing over the keys to your own mind. We've been conditioned to believe that being constantly available is a virtue. It's not. It's a vulnerability. It makes you predictable, and therefore controllable. The first step to building an untouchable calm is to withdraw your energy. This is practical, not mystical. It starts with a digital detox. Not forever, but for intentional periods. Turn off notifications. Set specific times to check your phone. You will be amazed at how much mental space opens up when you not constantly reacting to every buzz and ping. This isn't ghosting people. It's prioritizing your own sanity. The world will not end if you take an hour to respond. Next, let's talk about your physical environment. Your home should be a sanctuary, not a storage unit for stress. Create a clean, orderly space. A clear space fosters a clear mind. It's a simple, powerful act of self-respect. When you organize your surroundings, you're sending a subconscious message to yourself that you are in control. This isn't about minimalist aesthetics. It's about eliminating the visual noise that drains your energy. Now, for the hardest part. Boundaries. The word no is a complete sentence. You don't need to justify it, explain it, or apologize for it. When someone tries to pull you into their drama, a simple, firm "I can't get involved" is enough. When you're asked to do something that compromises your time or values, a polite "no, thank you" is your shield. At first, this will feel uncomfortable. People who are used to your endless availability will push back. They might call you selfish. Let them. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Their discomfort is a sign that your boundaries are working. You are teaching them how you expect to be treated. You are redefining the terms of engagement. By saying no to the outside world, you are saying a profound yes to yourself. This withdrawal creates the space for deliberate solitude. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the joy of being with yourself. It is in these moments of quiet that you can finally hear your own thoughts without the filter of others' opinions. What do you actually want? What are your non-negotiable values? Who are you when no one is watching? Sit with these questions. You don't need immediate answers. The goal is to get comfortable in your own company, to become your own best friend. This is where you disconnect from the hive mind and connect with your own inner wisdom. This practice trains psychological dominance, not dominance over others, but dominance over your own impulses, your own reactions, your own mind. When you stop being endlessly available, you stop being endlessly controlled. You become a fortress, not an empty, isolated one, but a vibrant, well-defended space where your potential can finally flourish. Your energy is no longer scattered, it's concentrated. Your focus is no longer fractured. It's a laser beam. People will start to notice a change. They'll see a calm, a centeredness, an unshakable presence. They won't know exactly what it is, but they will feel it. They will respect it. This process of withdrawal isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. It's a constant practice of choosing yourself, protecting your peace, and cultivating an inner calm that no external chaos can touch. You become untouchable, not because you're cold or distant, but because your peace comes from within, and you've decided it's no longer up for negotiation. You've cleared the field. Now build the self. Part 5 gives you Jung's practical method active imagination, a personal myth, and a vow you can keep. Do you ever feel like you're just playing a part? Like the person everyone sees isn't the real you? What if I told you that the real you isn't something you find, but something you build? Something you forge. Today, we're diving deep into one of Carl Jung's most powerful tools, active imagination, and how to use it to craft the life your soul is crying out for. We all have these voices inside, these nagging feelings, anxieties, and daydreams. We usually push them away, labeling them as distractions or weird thoughts. But Jung saw them as messages from your unconscious, a hidden part of your psyche that knows you better than you know yourself. He developed active imagination as a way to have a conversation with this hidden world. It's not just daydreaming. It's a focused, intentional dialogue. You start by quieting your mind. Find a comfortable space. Close your eyes and let an image or a feeling arise. Maybe it's a shadowy figure at the edge of your mind, a recurring dream character, or a knot of anxiety in your stomach. Don't run from it. Instead, invite it forward. Ask it a question. Who are you? What do you want from me? And then, you listen. The key is to not consciously direct the conversation. Let the figure or feeling respond. It might speak in words, show you an image, or evoke a memory. Your job is to be the scribe, the witness. Write it all down. Draw it. Paint it whatever captures the essence of the encounter. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it yet. Just record the dialogue. Speak with what haunts you and watch it hand you a map. The monster becomes a mentor when you hold the pen. You might meet a figure you call the critic, who constantly tells you you're not good enough. By talking to it, you might discover it's actually a distorted form of a protector, terrified of you failing and getting hurt. By understanding its motive, you can negotiate with it, transform its role from a saboteur to an ally. This is how you stop being a victim of your own mind. You turn your inner chaos into a council of advisors. These figures from your unconscious aren't just random fantasies. They are parts of you. They are your projected power, your disowned creativity, your buried courage. By engaging with them, you're reclaiming these lost pieces of yourself. But dialogue is only the first step. Insight without action is just a pleasant thought. This is where the vow comes in. Once you understand what your inner world is asking of you, you must embody it in the real world. This is how you forge your true self. You don't just discover your personal myth. You live it. This means creating rituals that align your daily life with your soul's purpose. It's not about grand, sweeping gestures. It's about small, consistent acts of devotion to the self you are building. Maybe your dialogue with the artist within reveals a deep need for creative expression. Your vow could be a daily hour of creation no phone, no excuses, just you and the canvas, the keyboard, the guitar, a sacred, non-negotiable appointment with your soul. Or perhaps you meet a figure of the sage who tells you your mind is too cluttered with noise. Your vow could be a weekly fast from noise one day with no social media, no news, no podcasts. Silencio, to let your own thoughts surface. This isn't a punishment. It's an act of deep You create a personal code. When you're lost, when your moods are pulling you in a dozen different directions, your code decides for you. I will not betray my creative hour. I will not engage in gossip. I will walk in nature when I feel overwhelmed. These vows are the hammer and anvil. Each choice, each action, is a strike that shapes the raw material of your potential into the solid form of your character. Your life starts to fit your soul, not the other way around. You're no longer wearing a mask that society handed you. You've forged your own face, one that reflects the incredible, complex world within you. This is the ultimate act of creation. You stop seeking your true self, and you start building it. Choice by conscious choice. Your turn. Declare one projection ULL reclaim and one boundary ULL enforce for 7 days. Commit to your vow. Share this with someone stuck in a mask. And subscribe for the next deep dive. The power of withdrawal, how silence makes you untouchable.